Hey guys, so it is Monday morning. As you can see, I just finished showering. There are still like water streaks and things. What a crazy weekend I've had. It was homecoming weekend at my son's high school. So there was the parade on Friday night, which was so fun. Watching their marching band come forward and lead the parade with the drum line and the dancers and the horn line and all of that, the brass section rather it's called. It was so much fun and it brought back so many memories from my own childhood. I almost started crying. You guys know I'm like super emotional these days. Anything that has any potential feeling of happiness or sadness or any emotion, I'm all like tearing up and ready to cry. So the band's coming and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. I'd show you footage because I tried to film, but then forgot that I hadn't actually pressed the record button and didn't notice until after they had turned the corner and stopped playing music altogether and thought, darn, that was so fun. Anyway, probably for the best because I'm a little weird about that. Like, how do I feel about my son being recorded without knowing? I mean, I understand that nowadays, if you're in public, I'm starting my face routine this morning, and this is my Kiehl's Ferulic Brew facial essence, which I'm making my way through here. I realize that if you're in a public space, you can be recorded without your consent. It's only when you're in private spaces that you need like a consent form. So I get that. And, in that way, I don't need everybody's parents' permission to record like the band. But still, I'm just a little bit like kind of funny about that. So then came the floats that were attached to pickup trucks. So I'm trying to understand how the school arranged literally like 24 pickup trucks with these like trailers behind them that the kids were standing on by club or interest. So my son, for example, is in the speech club. So he was in the trailer with the speech club. And, there was like a cheerleaders club and a debate club and a Model United Nations and all of that. And it was so cute. I love the energy of teenagers. I used to teach high school. I don't know that I could teach today with the expectations that educators have on them today. We can talk about that another time. Would you be interested in that? Because I have a lot of thoughts about that. I still work in the world of education. And I just think that our schools, we just ask way too much of our schools. But that's another conversation for another day. You'll see my shadow back here, back there, because I have my makeup mirror set up. This is the makeup mirror right there that's set up off camera. I'm going to use my serum, my double serum from Clarins next. And so anyway, that was Friday night, the parade. And then on Saturday, my son had an all-day sporting event in the rain. So I was out there like a crazy parent in my umbrella, and his poor self got cold and wet, and he just spent hours in the soaking rain. I understand that stuff builds character. I certainly did it as a teen, and you just bear through it. And it's just part of life. And he had a great time. And then Saturday night was homecoming dance. So I had to help him get ready, get his little suit on, take him over to the school. It was super cute, super cute. I will say I was a little surprised at I shouldn't say I'm surprised. I mean, am I really surprised at some of the outfits that folks chose to go to homecoming in, particularly the young ladies? I'm a little old fashioned, and I believe that teenage young ladies, it's okay to express yourself and be proud of the young, lovely body that you have. However, we all need to see your butt cheeks, ladies. So there were some young ladies that had dresses that were just a little too high. You could see a little too much happening there. That's my own personal thing. And some of their, heels were a little too high and too sexy. So it was a busy weekend. And then yesterday, Sunday, we cooked like crazy and I tried to film. And I was just, by the end of Sunday night, I got in the bed and I was like, I need a weekend for my weekend. So tired. So anyway, we've done the essence, the serum, and the moisturizer. I want to show you my makeup tray from last week and what was successful in there, and then switch it out. By the way, the Sephora sale is coming up. I'm a Sephora fan. It is the end of October. I think that last week into early November. I think the Rouge starts the end of October. I'm Rouge. I spend way too much money at Sephora every dang year. But you buy several fragrances and you've already racked up part of the $1,000 limit to get, not limit, see, what do you call it? The $1,000 requirement to get to Rouge. I had some success with my makeup tray, and then there were some other products that just, for some reason, I just wasn't feeling as much as I used to. So let's talk about it. Okay, so here's my little makeup tray. But before I talk about that, let me just say, for those of you that are using this kind of device here, this whatever you call it, magnetic device for your your muscle tone under your skin. I found a hack because I'm always short on time. I do like my morning routine. I like to have a cup of coffee in my rocking chair and do my facial mask, the LED mask. Y'all have seen this crazy Halloween mask that I put on. It terrifies my husband. He hates it, but it makes me laugh so much. Anyway, I do see a difference using it, and I see a difference using this, but I don't always have time for the full thing. This is 3 passes on every part of your face for an electromagnetic current. Forgive my nails. Don't you hate it when YouTubers say that? My nails are so janky. Well, they are janky, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm sure you're okay. No one's suffering, right? Or are you? Are you suffering? Are my nails making you suffer? Anyway, I found a hack to save myself some time, and that's just to do the top part of my face, like my forehead, one day, and then do the bottom part, my cheeks and chin and whatever, the next day. Hello, why didn't I think of that before? So I do the mask and then this, either on top or bottom, is what my routine has started to be on the days that I have time to do it. I don't always have time, but I try to do it maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm happy with that. So let's talk about this tray and what was successful and what wasn't. Okay, sorry, I had to readjust so that I could see what I'm doing. The camera angle was a little bit weird for me. So I'm still loving my Hourglass palettes. Here is last holiday seasons. I think this was maybe the medium or darker one from the last holiday season. And as you know, this Cutie Patootie Owl palette, which is the recent release, and this is the medium range one. Enjoyed using both of those. I didn't actually use this Buxom. That's not true, excuse me. I used it one day, and I love these. These are some of the best blushes. This is the Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush, and this is the color Ibiza like in Spain, and it's a nice bluish pink color. I keep several fans around so that when I finish with my, let me tell y'all something. This little thing over here, in case you're ever wondering what this is, because I feel like it looks like some sort of contraceptive device that you know what. So it's not. You use it like this. You literally hold it in your hand like that, and you clean your makeup brushes in it, and it has a little suction so that you can like stick it on your sink, So anyway, let me leave that there so y'all know what that is, because it always looks really weird in the background. And I'm like, do people think that's something that it's not? I use this so that after I finish my foundation, I can help it dry a little bit before I do other application. Y'all, I'm still going through this butter bronzer, this sculpting bronze. It is not hitting pan, and I have been using the heck out of it. I'm going to try one more week with this. I'm keeping my staple products in the back even into this week's tray. This is the Stila Hide and Chic in the color Tan 1. This is no longer made, but I like that it's a little bit darker for my skin tone, which allows me to mix it with lighter foundations that are maybe for like winter time. And the same thing with these D-Bronzy Sunshine Drops from Drunk Elephant. The foundations this week were Light Illusion from Flower. This is beautiful going on. It is really nice on the skin. It does start to break down around dinner time and kind of goes away. It's like when I go to wash my face at night, it's like it didn't exist, which is kind of weird. But I do think it's beautiful if you have a short occasion or half day type of occasion, really luminous. And as it says, luminous makeup, nude skin feel, really, really good stuff and very inexpensive. And then I absolutely am still in love with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is in the color 5.5. And this is one of the most realistic skin-like foundations. It goes on nice and thin. You can build it up if you want to. But if you want a skin-like look that doesn't look like you're wearing makeup, a no makeup look, this is a beautiful one. Flawless. Oh, I'm sorry. I wore the Milani Luminoso Baked Powder Blush. Oldie but a goodie. Cheap packaging, but I don't, in this case, really care. It's still attractive packaging. It's not ugly. And it's that peachy, pinky color that is really pretty, very luminous on the cheek. Well, not very. It's not like it's shiny like a highlighter or anything, but it does have a little bit of bling bling to it. And it's just sort of a universally appealing color for lots of different skin tones. I did do a little bit extra this week and used my Rare Beauty. I forget what this is called, but it's like an enhancer for under your eyes. I don't think it's supposed to serve as a concealer. And it has this metal application tip here, which is kind of bizarre. But anyway, I think that this helps to smooth out my under eyes, which I really like. Before I put on concealer, I use the Conceal the Deal Lawless Full Coverage Concealer in the color Cashew. And then the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer, an old time favorite, a goodie. And this is in the color 130 Light Beige. Both were really good. I'm at a stage in my life where my under eyes, I was going to say my armpits crease. You guys. Oh my God. My under eyes, maybe my armpits crease too, but that's another conversation. My under eyes crease no matter what I use, but these are both, they were really good. They were nice coverage and easy to use. So I give these both a thumbs up. I think I put away the other lipsticks I used this week, but Chocolate Lust from Maybelline. The color 60 was one of them. This is a little bit shinier of a color, very pretty fall, brownish. Has a little bit of peachy undertone to it also. Brownish, rosy, peachy color. Very nice, shiny though. Shiny, so you got to keep that in mind. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a shiny lip, and sometimes I want a matte lip. I did go through my Monsieur Big mascara, so that is in my trash pile. Like when I show you my empties, it's in my empties pile is what I meant to say. And I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills, this little, whatever this is, what do you call it? The Lash Brag volumizing mascara. Obviously this is a little sample. This was fine. I might use it again this week. In fact, yeah, let's stick it in the pile. And I do need to get a new mascara since I used up the other one. Gimme Brow volumizing pencil from Benefit. This is great as long as you keep the pencil sharpened. If it's not sharpened, it drags on your eye, and that's annoying. And then I want to talk about these two palettes because I'm starting to have a little bit of a change of heart about my palettes. I think I'm going into my simple makeup era. Is that a thing for me? Can we do that? Am I allowed? Of course I'm allowed. I'm a grown woman. I can do whatever I want with my makeup. But I think you all know for a long time I was like a collector of all of the Natasha Denona palettes, all of the Pat McGrath palettes, and I'm past that, and I want to keep the ones that I enjoy the most, although I think they are all really amazing, fantastic, high quality palettes. However, there are some that work better in terms of the tones in them and the arrangement of colors than others, although I would advise to anyone, this is one of the best eyeshadow formulas out there in the makeup game. And listen, if you're worried about the cost of this and wondering if you're getting your money's worth, I highly encourage you to go look at Marlena Still's new video, or it's new-ish by the time I post this, on what your makeup actually costs you. And she breaks down why these palettes are actually worth the money. So who is Marlena? Marlena was the founder of Makeup Geek, which is a makeup brand that is no longer in business, although I think I saw a video that it's coming back. I don't know. Somebody tell me if you know. I didn't watch that video where she made some announcement about it. Anyway, she breaks down makeup and why some products cost more than others and whether it's worth it, whether you're actually paying for something special or you're just getting ripped off. And she's no holds barred. I mean, she goes in on Natasha Denona, on Bobbi Brown, on Patrick Ta, on a lot of brands. And she, bar none, says that the Natasha Denona palettes are worth it because of the way that the components are made and what goes into it. If you're someone that doesn't care about packaging and you just want the product, she has some suggestions for you too. But in terms of the cost of making this type of palette with the little features on it, like these raised edges, the fact that you can pop them out on the back, the fact that this is a soft touch feel on the back, the fact that this is raised lettering, and the type of mirror used, and all of that. She breaks down why these palettes are actually worth the money. So this is the bronze palette, which is, as you can see, really beautiful fall colors. I have a gripe with this palette that I've had since I've gotten it, and it's that I wish it had one or two very much lighter shades in it, and perhaps one additional darker shade. While there are differences in the nuance of these colors, nuanced differences in these colors is what I meant to say. For example, these two look, my little, my little thing fell off down there, sucker. No pun intended, sucker. Do you see the joke I made there? Okay, let's go on. These two coppery colors, sorry that the camera's shaking, look very similar. And they are. There are textural differences. This one is actually a little bit more red in tone, and this one is more orangey. But when you look at this, and that, they start to feel the same on the eye or similar. And in that sense, it can be really difficult to get a differentiated eyeshadow look out of a palette like this. I will say these mattes are just spectacular, particularly for my skin tone. I really like those, or at least when I'm tanned. And I do like the addition of these like bluish, purpley, well, maybe more bluish grayish types of tones here for some depth. So I'm going to keep this, but I think down the road, this may be a candidate for declutter, especially when I start to see dents in these mattes. I really do love the mattes, but I don't like to dip into different kinds of palettes. For a look, I like it to be all in one. And in that sense, I've had to pull out a highlighter to do like an inner corner highlight or an underbrow highlight if I want the whole eyeshadow look. And in that sense, this palette isn't like my top Natasha Denona choice, even though I love the tones in here. Okay. So, and then let's talk about the Scott Barnes palette, which, you know, Marlena still talks about the fact that the Natasha Denona palettes are made in Italy. And so the quality is there. And then these palettes are made in China. And so, and she talks about the fact that palettes like this that are cardboard are the less expensive packaging. Now, Scott Barnes is a makeup artist. He probably could care less about the packaging and wants to be able to bring more product versus pretty packaging. Like Natasha Denona is a makeup artist too, but she obviously cared about the packaging enough to have that be part of the brand aesthetic. Here, it's the cheapest packaging possible, if you will, with some very decent to really nice shadows. This one, I have enjoyed it. There are some shadows in here that don't wow me. Like I find like these shadows are a little bit lackluster. Some of the mattes are super easy to use. I like these brown tones. I like these tones here. I will say on camera, they don't look like I was hoping they would look. And so this is sort of in the same category as the bronze palette for me. Maybe not a first pick eyeshadow palette, but really a decent palette. So I'm going to put this aside for the time being and revisit this maybe in 6 months and see if I still want to keep it or if I've had my jolly old time with it. We shall see. There are some really nice tones in here that are easy to work with. Look at all the glitter on my fingers. Messing with that bronze palette. And then there are other shades like this angelic shade that I just find really, see how it's a little pink? Really difficult to figure out how to layer over other products for an effect. So maybe I'm just not skilled enough to use this to its full potential, but there's a lot in here to work with. That's it. So let's start refilling with this week's products. I'm going to put my staple skincare products in there because I'm still going through them. Almost done with this. I think, I don't know if there's stuff in that center barrel that continues to sort of pour out of the bottom or whatever. We shall see how long that lasts. I'm going to go for it this week, and I'm taking out my Sydney Grace palette, which I just love. This is my favorite eyeshadow formula of all. And I have really everything in here I could need for an entire lifetime, except maybe a more true navy bluish color. And maybe, well, we have the purples there. So I have everything I could ever need, from the lightest colors to some of the darker tones that you can use to deepen your look and all of that. This is just a beautiful collection of single shadows that never disappoints. Sydney Grace. A brand that I really enjoy and I am resisting buying additional shadows from, because the fact of the matter is, I don't need any shadows right now, but man, I love their palettes. This is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is called Haunted Europe. As you see from this, whatever you call these things, I forget what they're called, holograms or whatever. Anyway, here is what the palette looks like. These are maybe a little bit adventurous for a work week. In fact, they really are. But I've used like this section here during the week without problem. This combo, if you apply lightly, is nice. And I probably will play like in here. Maybe at the end of the week, I'll get bold if I don't have meetings and do like a green eyeshadow look for fun. But look at the embossing on this. How pretty is that little web? There are bats here, bats. Let's see what else. There's a haunted house somewhere. I think these are grave markers. What else do we have here? Caskets. This is so cute. A castle. Anyway, all right, let's put that in. I may regret that choice, but we're going to roll with it. Let me see what I want to do for foundation. All right, let me pull this out of the sink before y'all think I'm janky. Okay, we're gonna go with the Tom Ford Flawless Glow Foundation. I've had this for quite a bit. This is in 6.0 Natural. And the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. This is in 330 Bamboo. And then I just grabbed the first two concealers that my hands touched over in the concealer section. And it's gonna be the Pat McGrath, this is a long name, Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer in light medium 14, LM14, and then granola, I'm sorry, this is called the Faux Filter Concealer from Huda Beauty, one of the best. I really, really like this concealer a lot. Granola 4.5G. What does the G stand for? I'm forgetting. I don't know. We're going to stick it in there though. We're going to use those two. I'm going to continue to make my way through this concealer. It is giving me a run for my money and refusing to be used up. For cheeks, I'm going back to Scott Barnes and his cheap packaging. This is the Chic Cheek #1, and it's got all the colors you could need, and you can mix and match these and some highlighters there, which is nice. I'll keep this eyebrow pencil in. I'm trying not to do as much eyebrows during the week because it does take me more time than I really need or have. I do have another telescopic mascara. The first one didn't work out. I think I had waterproof. This is non-waterproof. So we'll try this and see how this works. This is in the color Black Noir. And I am going to put a brow gel. So the days that I don't want to do my eyebrow pencil, I can just run the gel through it. Y'all remember the controversy around this telescopic mascara. I forget the young woman's name. And I'll stick the little Anastasia one back in there to keep using that. What am I missing? Lips. Let's do lips. All right, I just picked 3 random shades that we're just going to make work this week. Does anybody remember these super duper cutie patootie Pure X Barbie lipsticks? Look at this component, how pretty this is. Oh my goodness. And then you boop, pop it out. These had a problem. Look at the way it comes with like a glitter on it. That is so pretty. But these had a problem in that the bullet part, this is a nice sort of maybe mauve cool toned lipstick, pinky mauve color. The lipstick, the bullets would break out of them. Anyway, really, really pretty. One of the prettiest packaging components I have seen in the many years I've been playing around with makeup. And then here we have maybe it's Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink. Do you guys know what song has been? It's a ditty. It's not really like a song. What do you call the jingles at the beginning of commercials? I've had the Kit Kat one from the 80s. Give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Who remembers that? I don't know why that's on my mind. But these are the Superstay Vinyl Ink, and this is in the color 15 Peachy, which is actually similar in tone to that one. Maybe a little bit lighter and, let's see, a little bit peachier. We're just going to make these work. I just grabbed 3 out of my drawer, and this is the color If I Want to 001 Matte in the L'Oreal, no, excuse me, the Revlon Super Lustrous collection. Okay, that is really like a true peachy, almost undertones of a little bit of brown in there. Anyway, so it looks like I'm going to be hanging out in this family of colors this week because that's what I grabbed. That's what we're going with. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. We got cheeks, we got eyes, we got bronzer. I think we have everything. So that's going to be the makeup tray for the week. And I'll show you the look that I make with this today. All right, so I am about to start my workday, and here is the finished look. It's like a no makeup look. I do like the foundation, this Traceless Tom Ford foundation. Again, you can see my skin, you see all of my pores and textures, but it helps to even out the skin tone overall. And as you can see, it's super luminous. Mind you, I have some pretty moisturizing products on underneath. Oops, you can see my straw with all of my lipstick on it. Sorry, is that gross or what? But I've used the Faux Filter Huda Beauty Concealer, which I like. It also looks natural. Sorry if I sound weird. I have my aligners in. I just did a little bit from that Nomad palette with some of the orange and the browns in the palette and kept it simple and did a little under the lash brow liner. This is the Lash Brag mascara from Anastasia, the little tube. I think I'm going to throw that out. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. Just kidding. I keep forgetting I don't want little travel sizes of things. They're a pain in the butt to use, and that one is no exception. So it was a little tiny wand, and I'm like pinning it on, and then of course what? It's hard to handle, so I got stuff on my lower lid and spent all this time wiping it off. Pain in the butt. Let's see what else. I used that butter bronzer around the edge of my face very quickly because I was rushing to get ready so I can get down here and get to work this morning. Some of that Scott Barnes blush, and then the lipsticks weren't really vibing with like this brownie orange look. So what I did is I put on that Maybelline ink, whatever, the vinyl ink, that's what it's called, vinyl ink lip stuff. And then I took my butter bronzer and I put my finger in it and just tapped it along to brown up and to matte the look some, which you can do. Just remember to use clean fingers. Don't double dip once you touch your lips. Like, don't go back into the product with your wet finger that has been on your wet lips and has all of that fluid. And anyway, we're getting a little gross, but you get what I'm saying. You don't want to transfer the bacteria into your powder products. And that's kind of it. I didn't do anything special with my hair. Yeah, my hair is just what my hair is today. And while we're down here, have I shown y'all my little Stanley-ish cup? It's not a Stanley cup, but I'm pretty sure it's the same kind of material, or probably out of the same factories that make the darn Stanley cups that everybody's paying $9 gazillion, $4 trillion for. This is off of Etsy. Is that just the cutest thing? 40 ounces, so it keeps me hydrated. I gotta go to work. Let me know what y'all thought of this. Do y'all want to see, have we talked about this? Do you want to see Sephora recommendations? The sale is coming up. My cart is full with some of the staples that I want to re-up on, and a few fragrances that are new out on the market, newer. I'll let y'all know what those are. Do you want to see a Sephora recommendations video? I'm thinking of doing two. One of the what's in my cart, which is very different than the recommendations that I would have for everyone else. Because at this point, I'm just re-upping on some things and a couple of new things. But I do have more sort of staple recommendations for folks if you're interested. I've done a Sephora video, I think, the past few years that I've been on YouTube. You know, some people, like my audience, those of you that are out there watching me, I don't know how many of you are really sort of Sephora fanatics. I really enjoy it, but don't want to do the video if folks are not interested. So let me know. All right, people, take care. Have a great day.